Hi, welcome to episode 1 of Tuesday Tip, where I'll be giving you one step that you can follow to bring yourself out of stress, depression and anxiety. You're listening to How to Change Your Life One Step at a Time with me, Katie Woodland. Tune in every week so that you can use tried and tested tips, tricks and hacks to start living the life you want right now. What I'm about to say is a little controversial, and I want you to know that it genuinely comes from a place of love and is backed both by the research into stress, depression and anxiety, as well as something that's core to my intensive holistic therapy program. Now, you have got to choose to be well. Okay, now please don't turn off just yet. This absolutely sounds a lot easier than it actually is. It's 100% not about ignoring your thoughts and feelings by pretending to be happy. If you're right smack bang at the bottom of a big old stress, depression or anxiety black hole, positive thinking will actually make you a heck of a lot worse. So please don't do this. Just not yet. What I mean is, you need to recognise when your subconscious is taking control by throwing negative or worrying thoughts at you to stop you doing the thing you want to do or need to do. Say, for example, you have social anxiety and you really want to go to your sister's wedding, but even the thought of being in a room with that many people makes you hyperventilate so much you almost pass out. You're telling yourself everything's going to be okay, or I can do this, will without a doubt set off the big old in your dreams button in your head. What you need to do is recognize this and just say no thank you, and then put it to bed. This is what I mean by choosing. You can either choose to listen to that voice, work yourself up even more, and then wake up on the kitchen floor after coming around, or choose to say to yourself, I don't need to hear that, and I'm choosing to ignore you. Now, I need to be honest with you, this will not cure you from stress, depression, or anxiety. In fact, if you only ever do this, you will be setting yourself up for some very serious complications in the future. But right now, where you are, this is the one thing that's going to enable you to start regaining control of what's going on inside your own head. Remember, we're going to be taking this one step at a time over the next few weeks and months so that you can implement them and succeed. Now, if you're listening to this and what comes through your head is something like, it won't work for me, or she doesn't get how stressed, depressed or anxious I am, or maybe I can't do that, that, my friend, is your subconscious talking, and it simply is not true. When we have a negative or worrying thought, it sparks a physiological reaction in our bodies, and this lasts for just 90 seconds. If you're still feeling fearful, worried or sad after that 90 seconds, it's because you're continuing to have those fearful, worrying or sad conversational thoughts in your head. You're allowing your subconscious to not only project the immediate thought, which popped into your head because of something going on in front of you, but you're also listening to the rest of the ramblings. The thing is, you may not actively hear many of these, and in fact, that's one of the key issues with depression. However, every single one is triggering the physiological response, so you just keep going. By simply saying no thank you, taking a deep breath and choosing to ignore what's going on, you will very slowly take back control. Still don't believe me? Well, back when I was a young pipsqueak in my early 20s, I tried very unsuccessfully to take my own life. Now, I say unsuccessfully because as I decided to run my car off the road on the M6, the whole of the motorway came to a standstill and I was trapped between two lorries. I was not going anywhere. However, being trapped between those lorries really gave me time to think. I got to think through what I was going to do. Now, in the beginning, I was working out how to go through with it once we started moving again. But then, as time wore on, I started to truly think about what I was contemplating. Did I really want to end everything? I had a wonderful partner who I'm still with, a good career ahead of me, money in the bank, and an extremely supportive family. Now, while I had a good career ahead of me, it was this very same thing that was the problem. I was working as a department manager in a fast fashion retail store, and it was my store manager who took pride in being psychologically and emotionally abusive. In fact, the 2 other managers who used to work there had already left because of it. The thought of going into work was my trigger, and that moment, with that realization, I made a choice. I chose to live, and I chose to walk away from something that was slowly killing me. I had no job to go to. I still had bills to pay, which I had no way of doing. But even though that was scary, I knew I would find a way. I went back home and got my mum to ring work for me. I couldn't even pick up the phone. The thought of speaking to him was making me physically sick. I was the person hyperventilating so much I almost passed out in the kitchen. Now, in fact, I'd gone to A&E a few weeks before, convinced I was having a heart attack, which they informed me was just a panic attack. Now, at that time, I didn't believe them, because what did I have to be so afraid of? Now, that was well over 10 years ago, and after making that choice to not let anyone make me feel as though my only option is to end my life, I have never, ever gone back on it. I have faced very similar situations, and I'm sure many of you listening have too. In fact, it's the main reason I do workplace mental health training, so that no one else has to end up in the same place that I did. Now, the only thing that changed was me. I tuned into my feelings, and if I started to avoid things I needed to do, or made silly self-sabotaging mistakes, or lost my motivation to do something I loved, that was my indication to get out fast. Now, in order to overcome stress, depression and anxiety, you have got to hold firm to the fact that you are in control of your life, and you are choosing not to listen to all the rubbish that's going on inside your head right now. This is 100% the first step, and if you don't conquer it, then none of the other steps will work. So your homework is to download the My Week sheet to help you track what's going on. Throughout the week, recognise when your subconscious is throwing random rubbish at you, and write down what you were doing or supposed to be doing, how you felt, and what words your brain used. Now, for example, back to my story, I had to inform the shop I wouldn't be coming in. So I felt physically sick and had a panic attack because the thoughts that were going on inside my head were I would be made to go in. Now, once you have got it out on paper, don't judge yourself. This is really important. Just take a deep breath, say no thank you, and then continue on your day. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so that you can tune in next week for the next step in overcoming stress, depression and anxiety. If you have any questions or comments, please do let me know, and I will get back to you personally as soon as I can. Have a wonderful week and good luck.